The best Romeo and Juliet recipe I've ever made. An incredible, easy, and delicious dessert. Here in my saucepan, I'm adding 600 grams of guava paste. I cut it into large cubes so it melts faster. But if you prefer, you can place it whole. I add 200 milliliters of water and let the guava melt slowly. I stir constantly to help the process and ensure it becomes smooth and homogeneous. Done! The guava paste has completely melted and has a beautifully creamy jam-like texture. Now I add 12 grams of unflavored gelatin, previously hydrated according to the package instructions. This step is essential for the guava layer to set properly in the dessert. I mix the gelatin well while the guava is still warm. Now I turn off the heat and transfer this mixture into a mold. I spread it evenly, scraping every last drop from the saucepan to make the most of this delicious guava mixture. Now I place it in the refrigerator for about 2 hours or until this layer is completely firm. While the guava is chilling, let's prepare the cream. In a blender, I add 395 grams of sweetened condensed milk. I pour everything in and scrape the container well to get every bit out. I add 400 grams of heavy cream. I also add 170 grams of cream cheese, which will give a special texture and flavor. The cream cheese is optional, but I love using it because it makes the dessert even more delicious. Now I add 50 grams of grated Parmesan cheese. I blend everything well. I've blended it thoroughly, and now we have a smooth and homogeneous cream. Now I add 12 grams of hydrated unflavored gelatin. I close the blender and mix for just a few more seconds. Done! The gelatin is fully incorporated and the mixture is ready for the next step. Now I remove the blender and pour this white mixture over the guava layer, which has already set in the fridge. The guava has hardened nicely, so now I carefully pour in the cream. I pour it slowly around the mold to avoid breaking the lower layer. I place it back in the refrigerator so this white layer can also set. Now we just have to wait while the dessert gains its perfect texture and structure. After a few hours in the fridge, our Romeo and Juliet dessert is completely ready. Now comes the best part, unmolding it and seeing the final result. The dessert is firm, but if you have trouble unmolding it, here's a tip. You can slightly warm the edges of the mold over the stove burner for a few seconds. This trick helps release the dessert without breaking it. Just like I did here, the base has softened a little, so now I can remove it much more easily. This is undoubtedly the best Romeo and Juliet dessert you've ever tried. A perfect combination of the sweetness of guava and the creaminess of cheese.